People have these ideas.
I think the faith that people put in Hollywood and all that, I think it's all bullshit. I think it's just gross. I mean, Hollywood's a weird town anyway. It brags about itself constantly. It's all it does is talk about how much money it makes. And it's a weird, I don't know, I don't agree with it. It's just the morals of Hollywood to me are, I don't get it.
Hey friends, this is T again with another reaction video. And today we're going to be doing a reaction on the only honest star in Hollywood. It's all BS. Now, this channel is by KJERSTI FLAA. I'm assuming she does reviews and interviews and things of that sort when it comes down to the entertainment industry. And I love to do entertainment. My whole channel is generally based on it. I might dabble into politics and other things here and there, but it's mostly an entertainment channel. So this does fascinate me. We've been going through a lot these days about Hollywood and all the crazy stuff that's going on right now with P. Diddy and everything else. All these people looking like they might get in trouble because they might be involved in his freak offs and everything else going on. But there's a lot of people, and it's including social media as well, that's getting in trouble with DUI, excuse me, you know, divorces, harm towards each other, all kind of stuff is going on right now. And Hollywood definitely kind of set the tone for our culture, and our culture is becoming very rotten at this point because of so many things they have been promoting and getting away with, and they start to kind of seek out now. People are starting to notice it more and more, and we used to look up to a lot of these actors and actresses, man, but now we're starting to know more and more about them, and this kind of like really like subsiding. Because back in the day, whenever they were ever talk about like political stuff and who to vote for and all that kind of stuff, people used to eat that up, right? Even me back in the day, 'cause I used to listen a lot to actors and actresses like the experts, right? But now that you know their motivations and how rotten a lot of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them, now it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take advice from these people. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So things has changed. Now this woman, KJERSTI, she's doing an interview with the Hangover actor Zach Galifianakis. I don't think I'm saying that right, but I'm doing the best I can, right? He's a relatively funny actor. I've seen him in other stuff too. He's pretty funny. He's not hilariously funny, but he's funny. He does the job that he needs to do, and I enjoy him, right? Well, she's doing an interview with him, asking him about Hollywood. And this guy is surprisingly honest. I don't think anybody is as honest as he was doing these interviews, because all the interviews I ever seen when it comes down to actors and actresses, they'll lie their tail off basically, or they'll like, I don't really want to answer that question or something in that realm, okay? But this guy, he is truly honest, okay? He's straight up. And I think that's the reason why she's doing this particular story. Now, I did watch a little bit of the beginning. That's what made me want to do this reaction. I'm not going to record her talking through it like she's doing right now. I'm just going to record her doing the interview. But I will leave her link below. That way you can watch the whole thing, okay? So I always do that. I always like to give credit to the people that I might sample a little bit of their stuff here or react to, whatever, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know whenever we come out with new videos, okay? All right, let's get started.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of movie stars today? People have these ideas.
I think the faith that people put in Hollywood and all that, I think it's all bullshit. I think it's just gross. I mean, Hollywood's a weird town anyway. It brags about itself constantly. It's all it does is talk about how much money it makes. And it's a weird, I don't know, I don't agree with it. It's just a...
See, I love that. See, this is when he said this is what made me want to do this reaction, right? I mean, this is blatantly honest about it, right? And he's so good. His points are so great, man. And it is fake and it's phony and it's crappy. And when you interview stars who no longer are big stars or whatever, they're their career kind of going down the hill, and you do interviews with them, they tell you the real truth about Hollywood, how bad it is. I mean, so much stuff is coming out lately, like with child stars. There's some documentaries that come out with that. They've been taken advantage of, treated like crap. A lot of these producers and people like, showrunners running these things are like pedos, pretty much. And it's so much crap that's coming out now that is crazy. And then you're going, and with the Diddy thing, and there gonna be documentaries about that. And then, I mean, I think we just scratching the surface with Diddy. I think so much crap is gonna come out because every day that I do shorts. So definitely look at my shorts, okay? I work pretty hard on them. Please look at them. Every day I do shorts, there's always some new information coming out about Diddy and his freak offs and all this other stuff that he's doing. It's insane, man. It's insane. But, people like me, man, I'm kind of like looking forward to what might come out of this because, the stories are getting like even juicy and juicy as time go on, man. It's just crazy, right? Now, I do feel sorry for the victims. I'm not going to say this is a good thing. I mean, if you involved in the news and reporting the news or whatever, right? That's good because you can get the information, you can build followers, you can make money, whatever situation, right? But it doesn't change the fact that a lot of people during this time got hurt. Hollywood is exposed right now, and they trying to do everything they can to bury it. They still trying to use their stars to promote crap, politics, and all this kind of stuff. But that's sinking, man. That's sinking. And now they trying to figure out a new way to fool you. And remember this. They are trying to figure out a new way to fool you like they did in the past, okay? So, they're going to find it because they're hoping to get the new generation of young people to believe they crap. And slowly these kids are starting to slip away and they're not liking that lack of control. So they're trying to get them back. So Hollywood stars and musicians aren't working like they used to, okay? And their power is slowly slipping and they hate that. So I love the fact of actors like him being completely honest about what really goes on in Hollywood. But let's continue.
The morals of Hollywood to me I don't get it. I like to be in it and act in it, but the way it acts as a unit,
Look at the expression on her face, because I have a feeling, because this movie Birdman came out a long time ago, and I'm surprised that she decided to go ahead and air this or revisit this because this is Michael Keaton right there. So this came out a long time ago, years ago. But I guess she decided thinking maybe this might be relevant for what's going on in Hollywood right now. So I'm glad she's doing it, and I'm glad I'm able to do a reaction to it, okay? But look at the expression on her face, man. She probably didn't see this coming. She probably was like, really? You're going to be that honest? I thought normally she probably do these interviews when people, get kind of real a little bit. But a lot of the time they saying a bunch of fluff stuff. Hollywood great. They talk about the movie or whatever. The basic stuff she probably expect. This is probably something she didn't see coming, okay? But I don't know if it crushed her fantasies about Hollywood or if she already know the deal and she just didn't expect him to say it. But I'm glad he's saying it. So let's continue.
Read those trade magazines, it's like gross. It's everybody bragging about each other.
So a lot of people today which this movie talks about, you're not worth anything unless you're on Twitter, on YouTube. There's something viral about you.
That within itself is bizarre. That we as a society think, or I'm not saying we do, but that has become a thing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me that is the thing. Being known.
I'm gonna let him finish this statement.
At any cost, who cares? That can't be good for us. And plus,
it's not good for us. Social media have exposed a lot of things. That's probably the only good thing about it. It's exposed a lot of stuff. And now it's very difficult to defend Hollywood, especially now after the situation with Diddy, when all these people might be involved in this. Hopefully things will start coming out soon so we don't know the deal. I know people are scrambling right now, man. They probably terrified of what might come out. Even if they weren't deeply involved in his freak offs, still they might have done something very compromising that they don't want people to know. They might be, gay, but they don't want nobody to know they're gay, so they trying to hide that fact. But if it comes out during the freak offs, they was, doing things with the same sex or whatever, then that's going to expose them. So there's probably a lot of secrets that's going to come out with people, and they probably wanted to keep that under wraps. But yeah, man, it's like social media, man, exposed a lot, and it's very unhealthy. All of this, these magazines putting out stuff that's fantasy. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it. I get it. They trying to make Hollywood seem like it's a dream place. All of us grew up wishing we could move to California and be in Hollywood and meet all these amazing people and make films and create things. I went to photography, man, because I wanted to create things. Photography school. So, I mean, I drunk the Kool-Aid, man. I ain't gonna lie. I drunk the Kool-Aid. It was a fantasy. I mean, I still would love to make movies and film and do photo shoots with models and things of that sort. But nowadays, you just got to be really careful on who you deal with now, okay? And that's on both ends, the photographer and the model. So you got to be really careful now. Now that you're starting to realize, because I'm sure a lot of those people that went to these parties didn't realize they were being filmed. They probably had no clue, because this might be a thing, and this been going on for like forever, man. It's not like a new thing. Now, Epstein was doing it. All these people was doing it, and you think about who might be behind all this stuff, but I don't want to mention that on this particular show. But yeah, he hitting it right on the nail, man, on how unhealthy this crap is, and like I say, he's not an A-lister actor, okay? He probably falls into, I ain't gonna say he's a D-list, but he probably falls somewhere where he feel like doesn't matter what he says or does, it's not really gonna affect his career. Because nobody have no real high expectations with this dude, okay? So he feel like he probably could get away with saying this, okay?
There's no culture in celebrity culture. Zero.
No culture.
Those TMZ shows, that horseshit People magazine, it's crap. There's no art in it. It's all terrible. I mean, I see people read People magazine. It's like, you're gonna read a magazine where someone's hiding in the bushes to take picture of someone's children? You're gonna.
But this guy, man, look, I don't know this dude from Adam. I never did any research on him or anything like that, man. But the fact he's saying this stuff, and it does make sense, because you never really think about it. Because I used to read a lot of magazines, People magazine, Variety, all these magazines, right? But you never really think about how they get these pictures, including children in it and all this stuff, man. I mean, it is pretty raggedy when they do stuff like that. To get the story by any means necessary. So it does make a whole lot of sense in what he's saying regarding this particular situation. And obviously, because you always think that all these stars live in a bubble, that they don't understand what's going on, they have no morals or nothing like that, right? So that's what makes this so surprising and refreshing to see him talk this way. Because then you realize not all actors and actresses drink the Kool-Aid. A lot of them just go there just to act, do a movie, and go home and live regular lives. And he might be one of them types that do it. I'm sure he probably got some things he do. Maybe he might smoke or something like that, right? But I don't think he believes in the whole culture, which he says there is no culture in Hollywood, which I completely agree with. Right? So, yeah, I'm loving what this guy's saying, man. I'm starting to like him even more.
Endorse that.
And today everyone else can take pictures of...
And it's completely legal. The internet's the Wild West.
I don't remember who said it, but someone said that we don't want philosophical bullshit. We want superheroes or action today. Do you agree with that? There's a lot of superheroes going on.
That's marketing people telling us what we want. That's the thing. It's like we're such consumers in this country and such easy to be marketed to that we kind of look around like, what do we want? I'm a grown man.
Look, we so conditioned in this country, like he said, right? We look for things to promote us. When we're not getting that promotion, sometimes we get upset about it. We complain, like he's saying it's bad that they go there telling us what we want, but sometimes we want them to tell us what they want. They got us so conditioned now and stuff. So we're just looking for that stuff. I mean, it's all crazy, right? And I do kind of disagree with her. We do like philosophical stuff, just include it with the superhero things. You can really make a real interesting superhero movie or Star Wars movie and add philosophical points to that. You can do that. You know what I mean? But they just think that their audience are so stupid Just like Kathleen Kennedy think about Star Wars fans. She think they ignorant and stupid and she can't stand them. And she make it clear she don't like them. You know, I'm included in that because I loved Star Wars, okay? So she make it clear. So she just think, you know, let's put out any piece of crap, they'll eat it. You know? We're going to tell y'all what y'all like. Just like he said, we're going to tell y'all what y'all like and y'all going to take it. And I think it's a big surprise, big shock to the system when they realize people, look, we ain't, you know how like you hooked on cocaine, right? They think they're like dealers and got you hooked on some type of drug or something. So if they deny you it or give you something, you know, substandard, you're just going to put up and take it because you hooked on it, right? So I think they think the same way when it comes down to their movies. We so hooked on their movies and stuff like that. So when they put out a piece of crap and tell you to take it, they felt like we were just going to take it because it was called Star Wars at the beginning of the title or whatever, right? But now they starting to realize that's not the case. Maybe we're not as stupid as you think we are. Maybe we're not as hooked as you thought we were. You know what I mean? They start to realize that. And that's why a lot of things are falling apart right now. Falling apart. Crazy, man. Crazy. But I love the way this got this conversation. And she's not trying to stop it either, man. She's going along with it. I like that. She's not trying to, okay, you know, you're saying too much. Let's do something else. She's not doing it. And she sounds like she's a foreigner too, man. I wonder if that got something to do with it. If she was an American reporter or interviewer or whatever, you know, I have a feeling she'd be like, okay, let's go to another subject. But she's going along with this, man. This is some good stuff. Now, this is what I say is an interesting interview.
Man, I've never been into comic books. I've never, like, I have friends that have been into it, but it's not entertaining for me. So it's nice to have this kind of message out there to you know, we don't all have to be into comic books. A movie like Kramer versus Kramer, can you imagine it being made today? It's hard. It's sequels. I've been guilty of that. It's superhero movies. And it's, you know, fat guys falling down in comedies.
Do you think about your...
I don't know if he's talking about himself or somebody else, man. But that look is good. He probably talking about himself, right? He copped up to it. He admitting he was involved in like these sequels, like The Hangover. I think they had, I don't know if they had 1 or 2 sequels or 3 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he's guilty. He understands the machine. He understands how it works. And he's saying it. And somehow, for some reason, is a reason why he's saying all this. You know, because none of this stuff was happening. Because like I said, the Birdman came out years ago. So none of this stuff with Diddy and all this stuff were coming out. This guy just decided for some reason to be completely honest about Hollywood, how crappy it is. It's just like you working at your job, right? You know you hate your job, but you need your job. So it pays decently, it gets your bills paid. So you can work there, right? But you're not going to really love it, right? And whenever you get a chance to talk crap about your job, you're going to do it. We all do it, right? You know, I did it at the job. I did it away from job. And some people are doing it on social media and they're getting fired for it, which is stupid, right? Since now you know that they're watching you now and that can ruin your whole career. So you might want to not complain about it on social media. But yeah, and you would probably give that advice to him. But I think he at that point, right, in his career when he like, you know, I ain't really, you know, I'm not like George Clooney or Brad Pitt when I gotta constantly act like, you know, my crap don't stink or anything like that. He don't need to do it. He don't really need to watch his words like they do, okay? Because they prompt themselves up as superior and good looking and, you know, and all these other things. So they can't falter or fail. You know, they can't say anything that's gonna even scratch their careers. But this guy, he don't care. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get a job whenever he get a job or whatever. He gonna live his life regardless. I'm sure he got money. But I love his attitude with this man. And I wish, and that was so sad because a lot of, I don't know if he's used to be a comedian or whatever situation. I would think he would be, right? But a lot of comedians now are so much cowards now. They don't want to go out there and say the real thing like this dude doing. There's a few of them that's still doing it. But a lot of them won't do it. Like a lot of these late night talk show hosts, they won't do it. You can tell they're not real comedians because they let people tell them what to do. And comedians like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and all these people, they do whatever they want. They don't let people. The whole point is to piss you off and make you think. That's the point of being a comedian. But the comedians these days, most of them just don't want to do that. And it's so refreshing to hear this man talk this way and joke about it. And you can't throw nothing in his face because I don't think he gave a crap. You can go on social media, attack this guy, call him all kind of names, racist, white man, all kind of stuff. I think he don't care. He won't care, and it doesn't matter to him. You know, he's still going to do what he's going to do regardless. I think he can survive without Hollywood, and he knows it.
Do you think about your legacy a lot, of what you want it to be, like the way you pick roles yourself?
Well, I mean, as a comedian, you know, you kind of have, you're thrown certain things. You're asked to be in certain kind of movies and fall down and be silly and that kind of thing. Well, you do that for a while, and then if that bores you, you move on to other things. Or you try to grow and do different things. Sometimes you're lucky to be able to do other things, and sometimes you just get typecast, and that's the way it is. This is nice because I feel like this is kind of, I was lucky to be asked to be in this movie, so I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, you're more like the reasonable guy in this movie, I think, compared to the other.
Yeah, he's not that weird. He's just kind of emotional and has a lot of pressure on him and trying to keep the boat afloat.
Is he more close to you think, than the other characters you play, or do you have a little bit of all of that in you?
I don't think I'm like any of those things I play. I'm not, I don't know, I'm just kind of more quiet. And I'm quiet, I don't talk a lot, unless I'm...
He's probably highly intelligent. I notice about a lot of certain people that don't go out there and brag and boast about themselves, and they'll do silly stuff. Because you look at the past, like a lot of comedians, that, you know, the ones that fall down, and you know, the black and white movies and stuff like that, they act silly and stuff like that. But then you find out they're very intelligent. Very intelligent. He probably fall into that category. People see him acting silly and stupid and all this kind of crazy stuff. They probably automatically think he just an idiot, a clown, okay? But then when you look at his life and he actually have conversation and talk, like now, you can see the man got some intelligence. He thought about a lot of the things that he do. And it's like he has no problem with talking. Because this is another thing I noticed too about a lot of actors, you know, the ones that think they all that, the A-listers. When you ask them questions, they sit there and they'll hesitate and think for a long period of time before they answer. It's like they get brain fog, or you know, they can't compute what you ask them. So they got to sit there and think a long time just to think about what to say. Or they don't want to say nothing that might offend somebody or some crazy man like that, right? So you can tell that these people don't really got a real thought in their head. Pretty much, they just go along with the machine. But this guy, so far, he been flowing, man. He been flowing. And he basically let her know, I mean, I know you seen me doing stupid stuff, the fat guy falling down and all this other stuff, right? But I'm nothing like that. I'm nothing like that in real life. And I'm thinking now, you kind of realizing that. You know what I'm saying? So she probably liked the character and liked to see the side of him. And hopefully in the future he'll get more roles to show his intelligence.
I'm quiet, I don't talk a lot. Unless I'm on camera, or forced to. But no, I don't think I'm much like that character that much, no. He curses too much. He yells a lot.
But the other characters in this film, they have the best performance of their life when their lives are the most fucked up ever. Do you think that to be good actors, that sometimes you need to have your life needs to be a little fucked up to tap into those kind of feelings?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, I think what it takes experience and it takes observation to be a pretty good actor and living your life and not, you know, you have to study people. You have to, but that doesn't mean you have to come from necessarily a really kind of volatile background or that kind of thing. It doesn't hurt to come from that, I think, if you want to be an actor, but it's not necessary, I think. I think what's necessary is paying attention to your own emotions and other people's emotions and just being observant and see how people interact. That, to me, is, you can self-teach yourself how to be an actor, I think.
I'm very observant, too. I know exactly what he's talking about. I love the human condition, how people act and interact with each other. I love that, right? And I do agree with you. You don't have to have a messed up life. Now, a lot of people that come into the industry, they probably do have a messed up life, right? Either they'll end up in the adult industry or something like that, or they'll end up in Hollywood. There's always that ongoing joke back in the day. If you don't make it in Hollywood, you probably end up in the adult industry, okay? But a lot of them come from like broken homes, or they don't have any money or things of that sort. But then once they do start making money in Hollywood, they start to straighten out their lives, and they still remain good actors. Now, I don't agree with a lot of stuff they come out with these days. It's so crazy and insane. I really don't want to really get into that. I'm just saying, and I'm just agreeing with him right now that, even though these people might have came from like broken homes or whatever, right? But once they start making money, and it probably that broken home probably did help them, be able to do it, because they probably had to go through all kind of stuff to get through life. Because there's a lot of people that are con people. A lot of people, they try to act like somebody else to fit in and stuff like that. So that might be an asset to them when they go to Hollywood. But after a while, when they start making money, some of them still remain good actors. Like Anthony Hopkins, right? I'm sure he seemed like a guy that come from a relatively small town where his father probably was like a construction worker or something in that sort, right? And then he loved acting, he got into it, now he's making money. But it didn't change the fact that he was a good actor. He still acted well. Some people can maintain that. But then you got these other people, as soon as they get a little bit of fame, all of a sudden it goes to their head, and they really start acting arrogant and stupid. And he don't give me that impression that he's like that. He got enough fame to probably run around and pretend like he's some kind of big shot. But he's not acting like that. He's just talking real to this lady. He's not trying to make her laugh, because that's another thing too, right? And I think Eddie Murphy and some other people had that problem. They'll invite you on these people invite you on their shows or whatever, and they expect you to be funny. They expect you to be a certain way, just like the characters on the movies or the shows. And you can tell a person is pretty fake when they come on the show and they feel like they got to act like these characters. But he's not doing that. Even though he probably a clown on the movie or on the show or whatever, he acts like the clown on there. But he in the interview, he just acting like a regular person. I'm just a regular. My life ain't all that screwed up. You know what I'm saying? He's just making sense. But I think most people would expect, just looking at this dude after watching his movie, because I thought he was a buffoon, man. I thought he was just one of those guys that that's all he could do, and that was it pretty much. He just can just throw himself on tables and say stupid stuff and curse all the time, right? But this guy actually seemed like a very intelligent man. Very intelligent. And he said, I'm nothing like those characters. And I'm not going to come on here and act like that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be real. And it's unfortunate that most actors and musicians can't do that now. That they just can't be themselves, man. It's crazy. Even though people might have these expectations, you might want to take that risk and say, look, I don't want to be anything that I'm not, and that's how I started my channel pretty much, right? I want to be as much as me as possible. Yeah, sometimes you might have to act a certain way to bring in viewers or whatever the situation is, but don't change your whole personality or completely lose your values, okay? I'm not giving that up, you know what I mean? And stuff, right? But I'm just saying that, you can still be an actor, be funny and be stupid or whatever, but then in real life, let people see who you really are. So that way people won't get confused. I'm gonna give you another example, right? I think a lot of the times, a lot of these crazy fans, right? And I ain't talking about the regular fans. I'm talking about the crazy ones that, stalking you, looking for your house, harassing you, attacking you, all these crazy stuff, right? They think you are these characters. I mean, sometimes people will like play bad guy on a soap opera, right? And people think he really a bad guy in real life. And I'm saying that whenever you're not playing a role or whatever, and you do an interview, show people who you really are. That way they won't get confused. They'll be like, no, I'm just a regular person, just like anybody else. This is just a role to me. But some people want to play that part for so long. I'm going to use Taylor Swift as an example. I know it's possible some Taylor Swift fans might see this and be upset, but I'm going to take that risk regardless. Now, I'm not saying she's a terrible person. I don't agree with her politics or whatever, right? But that's not important. But she's talented, definitely. But I think a lot of her fans, this is my opinion, of course, think that she's still some kind of teenage girl. And she's innocent, can't do no wrong, right? Now, I'm truthfully, from seeing her, I think she's tired of it. And I think partially it's her fault. She should come out as, look, I'm a 30-something-year-old person. I'm grown. I'm going to do things. I'm going to drink. I'm going to go out. I'm having sex. I'm doing all kind of stuff, right? And not everything I do got to please you. But yet she's still walking this line. Even though I think she might even be a billionaire at this point, right? Still acting this way. I put Oprah Winfrey in the same category too, right? They still acting some kind of certain way where they putting up this facade where they really like this in real life. And you rich is all outdoors. This is the point where you should be able to act the way you want to act. Just like this man. This guy probably ain't even close to rich as them. But yeah, he's not going to come on some interview and pretend like he's those characters in the movie. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But you can tell the real people from the fake just by hearing the way they talk. And I'm very, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm very observant too. I love watching people too. I think that's a great trait when it comes down to acting too. When you be able to observe folks and how they act, that way you can pick up on things. I think it's a great ability to be able to do so. Some people can do it better than others, but I think I agree with what he's talking about.
I mean, I tried. So.
But a lot of comedians, I feel, use that to like escape a little bit from their own lives.
What do you mean?
I feel like there are so many comedians that are kind of a little sad, and then you don't know about it. You think they're always happy because they're
Yeah, I
comedians.
think that's a stereotype. I think you're right. I mean, there's reasons for stereotypes. I mean, most comics that I know do have a little bit of a sadness to them, but that's not the case all the time. I know some people come from very normal, happy. I came from a very happy background, very, very happy.
Do people always expect you to be funny when they meet you?
Yes, and I'm not that way. I think I'm pretty boring. So, yeah. People think you're the thing that you played in the
Hangover or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, but I don't think anybody would go up to the guy that played the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz and go, "Oh, you're not really a scarecrow?" You know what I mean?
This is the thing that I have an issue with. It's one thing when fans think that's all you can do, and that's what you are when you play these roles. It's another thing when producers and directors do it. I think this guy can play more than just these funny roles. And I haven't seen The Birdman, but the way this lady's talking, I'm sure it's something different than the stuff he played in the past. I hate it when directors and all that kind of stuff will just get you for certain roles. Like they can't have a conversation with you and sit down and say, look, I want to see who this person is. I like the way he acted in the Hangover and in Birdman, but I want to meet this guy and see if he can play a different type of role for me because I like him. I like his attitude. He seemed like an intelligent man and things like that. It's crazy that he mentioned stereotypes or you get caught in some kind of role people expect you to keep playing or whatever, right? You know, that's one thing when fans think this, but it's another thing when Hollywood thinking that's all you can do and nobody else want to see you in other things. And obviously this guy looked like he can do other things. He probably want to do other things. So he's not coming on here trying to be fake, trying to make you laugh or do all this kind of stuff. He just want to be real and talk. And that might be disappointing too. Like if an influencer, for example, was interviewing him, they probably expect him to be funny or something like that, right? And then come to find out he's just a serious dude. That'd probably be a disappointment to one of them. But I think this is refreshing. I don't have any high expectations of this dude. Like I say, I don't know his background or anything like that, right? But this is refreshing to me to see somebody act this way and be real and not pretend to be fake and all this kind of stuff just because he wants you to, watch his movies or whatever the situation is. I think it's refreshing, especially during these times when everybody is so fake with social media and Hollywood and all this other stuff. It just doesn't do your career any good long term, in my opinion, of course, right? But that's all I'm gonna do of this reaction. I really enjoyed this interview. I might have to look up this dude even more, see what else he played in. I'm curious about him now. I'm very curious about him. Hopefully he'll do more interviews like this. I think it was great. Like I say, I'm going to leave the link to this video so that way you can watch it in its entirety. I enjoyed it. I might have to look this lady up again, man. This is very interesting. Very interesting. All right. I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T and peace.
Is he more close to you, you think, than the other characters you play, or do you have a little bit of all of that in you?
I don't think I'm like any of those things I play. I'm not, I don't know, I'm just kind of more quiet. And I'm quiet, I don't talk a lot, unless I'm on camera, or forced to.